Hi everyone, this is Simran from Edworld, Canada, and today we are going to talk about how to change your visitor visa to a study permit in 2023. So if you are someone who's already inside Canada with a visitor visa, or you're planning to come to Canada on a visitor visa, in this video we are going to cover some common questions. So the first question which a lot of people ask is that age a criteria to apply for a study permit inside Canada. When you're applying from overseas and from your home country, age is a big criteria to consider for IRCC. But when you're applying from inside Canada, you can be 30 above. We even had clients who are 50 above and they could still easily get their study permit approved inside Canada. Second most frequently asked question is that if someone has education gap, can they still apply for a study permit inside Canada? The answer is yes. Even if you have education gap, which is longer than 2 years, you can still apply for a study permit inside Canada. Even if someone in their 50s and they have finished their study probably in their 20s, they can still apply and can easily get an approval for a study permit inside Canada. Another most frequently asked question is that do I need IELTS to apply for a study permit inside Canada? The answer is no. Yes, of course, when you're applying from overseas, IRCC has some standard English requirement which can be equivalent to 6 bands in IELTS test. But when you're applying for a study permit inside Canada, and if you're applying it with a prerequisite or a language pathway, IELTS will not be a standard requirement by IRCC. You still have to fulfill the requirement of your school admission, but to get an approval for a study permit, IELTS is not required. Another frequently asked question is that do I have to provide a GIC certificate? People who don't know what is GIC, it's called Guaranteed Investment Certificate, which is required from a lot of students applying internationally, especially if the country falls into STS category. But when you're applying for inside Canada, GIC is not a requirement. But that does not mean that you don't have to show the financials. You still need to cover your living expenses equivalent to 1 year, and then you can successfully apply for a study permit inside Canada. Another question which people ask is what is the success rate to apply for a study permit inside Canada? When you're applying from overseas, your chances of getting a study permit can be 50% to 90% based on your country. But when you're applying for inside Canada, the success rate can go up to 98%, which is quite high compared to any other visa category. A lot of people do ask that if they have a study permit inside Canada, can their spouse get an open spouse work permit? The answer is yes. If you have a spouse and if you're studying at a public DLI and you obtain the study permit inside Canada, your spouse can apply for an open full-time work permit. Moreover, if you have kids who are under the age of 18, they can get free school education in Canada. So if you want to change your status from visitor to study permit, you can contact our team today. We are available for a Zoom meeting if you're not in Toronto, or in-person meeting if you're in Toronto. The links are given in the description. The contact details are also in the description, so get in touch with us today.